Hello, YouTube divers. This is WaterEye122, and I want to welcome you all to another episode of Bands of the Alphabet. Oh man, we are getting very, very close to the end of this little series where I look at my favorite band or artist that starts with each letter of the alphabet. Um, so today we're going to be talking about my favorite band that starts with the letter V. And do I really need to go into detail on who it is? I mean, we pretty much know who it is. It's obviously the band Van Halen. I mean, Van Halen is really one of those bands where you can listen to them and then you would be like immediately attached to them, and that's kind of how I got into them when I um saw the music video for Running with the Devil, which, spoiler alert, is my favorite Van Halen song. It was the first one I ever heard, and it got me into Van Halen. Um, yeah. And of course, the best album from Van Halen is their debut album for me, Van Halen 1 from 1978. I feel like that would be a lot of Van Halen fans' number one when it comes to their albums. There's just so many of their standout tracks here. The production is great. There are great moments from every single member of the band except for Michael Anthony. I mean, he does not really catch a break. So on vocals, you have David Lee Roth, of course. Later, he would have a severe case of mononucleosis, I guess, and he would leave the band to do his solo career, which was kind of a disappointment. And then Sammy Hagar joined the band for 5150 to their 1991 release. All the way up to when Van Halen 3 was released in 1998 with the lead singer from Extreme behind the mic. Then Hagar joined the band after that. Rejoined, and then Roth and then David Lee Roth came back. I believe that's correct, but who knows? So when it comes to the classic lineup of Van Halen, you have David Lee Roth, Eddie Van Halen, like great Eddie Van Halen on guitar, Michael Anthony on bass, and Alex Van Halen on drums. Eddie and Alex are of course brothers, and they founded this band, hence why the band is called Van Halen. So when it comes to Van Halen 1, I've already said that Running with the Devil is a masterpiece, and it's my favorite Van Halen song, but do I even need to talk about Eruption? Eruption, it has one of the best guitar solos, period. And it's constantly played over and over and over again when it comes to the Van Halen live sets. And really, people love to cover them and cover that song. And then, of course, speaking of covers, Van Halen also did a cover of the Kings' "You Really Got Me," and in my opinion, that is way better than the Kings version of "You Really Got Me." I really enjoy that cover. So, and that's literally like the first 3 tracks off of this album. So you pretty much know how good this album is. The rest of the songs on this album are also killer. This is another one of the great albums from 1978. Yeah, one of my favorite debut albums of all time. And when it comes to rock and roll, anybody should have that as one of their favorites of all time, because this is a freaking killer album. Alright, and when it comes to the honorable mentions, you have Venom, the band Venom. They were, of course, the pioneers of like speedy thrash metal in the 80s. I know they influenced countless bands and countless genres like black metal, maybe even speed metal a little bit, thrash metal, of course, ish, and of course you also have, or at least British thrash metal, because they're from Britain, so there you go. And well, basically, Venom is really one of those bands where they kind of do their own thing. like, before all these big name metal bands came out, like Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, Exodus, Testament, bands like that, um, Venom was really one of those bands that kind of took and kind of made their own unique style of thrash metal. Like, I said this when I was talking about Savatage, but except Savatage was completely different. Venom basically invented like the blackened thrash genre with their first two albums, Black Metal and Welcome to Hell. Welcome to Hell and Black Metal. Yeah. And of course, the title track from their second album, Black Metal, is by far my favorite Venom song. I mean, it's freaking killer. If you don't believe me, go listen to it. Alright, second honorable mention goes to the Verve Pipe. Now, this was a band that I had gotten into today with two singles off their second album, Villains, which are The Freshman and the song Photograph. It's not a Def Leppard cover, but both of those songs are freaking killer, and the band just sounds amazing. They're not quite grungy, they're more on the psychedelic rock side. They're more like, they kind of are a mix, for me at least. They're kind of a mix between Soundgarden and Green Day. Like, they have the energy that Green Day has, but they have the same, they kind of, for me, have the same vibe as Soundgarden. Which, is just freaking killer in my opinion. Final honorable mention goes to Van de Graaff Generator, the English progressive rock band that was one of the pioneers of the genre. And of course, my favorite album is their fourth album from 1971, Pawn Hearts. And I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people's. I'm sure it's a lot of people's favorite album from them. Really solid album from start to finish. And I think Van de Graaff Generator would be another one of those bands where they could highly be classified as part of the big four of British progressive rock. With Yes, King Crimson, Genesis, and Pink Floyd. I think bands like Van de Graaff Generator and Jethro Tull and bands like that could be highly considered. But Van de Graaff Generator is just freaking killer. I mean, there's really not much else I can say about Van de Graaff Generator. Go listen to them. They're absolutely amazing. And with that said, that concludes this edition of Bands of the Alphabet. And of course, Van Halen is a solid 10 out of 10. All these bands are a 10 out of 10. So, with that said, thank you so much for watching my fellow YouTube divers. This is WaterDive122 signing out, ready to dive into more fun on YouTube. Thanks for watching.